The Quiet Way a Dog Chooses You. A story about imprinting, presence, and love. Not when you come home late. Not when the door creaks. Not even when the neighbor's dog loses its mind. But at night, he quietly climbs into your bed and curls right where your spine meets the sheets. Every time. You shift. He shifts with you, not touching, just near, like a shadow that knows exactly where you've been all day. It's not the warmth he seeks or the softness of the blanket. It's something else, something quieter, a silence he understands, a closeness he never questions. And then, just as your breath begins to slow, he exhales, not tired, just certain, that you're home, that you're his. He doesn't need a leash to follow. He doesn't need a voice to listen. Because whatever you carry, he carries too, even when you don't notice, especially then. And while you sleep through the night, he stays awake for just a little longer. Not guarding, not worried, just imprinting. We call it cute, the way he follows you from room to room, the way he lays in your dirty laundry, the way he waits just outside the bathroom door. You joke, he's obsessed with me, can't get a moment of peace. But maybe it isn't obsession, and maybe it's not about peace at all. You think he sleeps with you because your bed is soft, because the blanket smells nice, because you're warm. You think he checks in just to get a treat, that he lays in your shirt pile because he's lazy or clingy. You think he listens to you because you trained him well, because you use the right tone, because you're alpha. We assume, we laugh, we label, mirroring. Just coincidence. That he acts calmer when you're calm, sure anxious when you're stressed, must be projection. Because he's just a dog. Because feelings like that belong to us, not him. We treat his gaze like curiosity. We mistake his silence for simplicity. We call his closeness needy. But maybe we've misunderstood everything. Because what looks like routine might be ritual. What sounds like obedience might be devotion, and what feels like dependence might actually be trust. Deep, cellular trust, the kind that isn't taught, the kind that isn't earned in commands or sessions, the kind that forms quietly, when you're not even looking. You were brushing your teeth. He was at the doorway, not moving, not blinking, just there. You didn't think twice, but he did. Because that moment mattered to him. Not because of what you did, but because of who you are. He knows. And you've been too busy guessing. But what if it was never about obedience, and always about love? He sleeps beside you, not because he has to, but because that's where his world feels still. Not every dog chooses this. Not every bond runs this deep. This isn't about comfort. It's about closeness, the kind that says, you are mine, and I am yours. In the wild, sleep is vulnerability. Eyes closed means danger. So when he chooses to rest near you, not just near, but pressed into the space you leave, he's saying something most of us miss. This is the safest place I know. And the laundry? It's not mess to him. It's memory. Every thread soaked in your scent. To him, it's a map back to you when you're not there, when the hours feel too long. He buries his nose in your shirt, not because it smells good, but because it smells like home, like belonging. And when you're gone too long, he searches for it. He lays there. He waits. You think he forgets. He doesn't. And the staring? It's not awkward. It's sacred. You look up. He's already watching. Not blinking. Not begging. Just being there. Locking eyes is hardwired as threat. But when he gazes into yours, he's choosing vulnerability. He's saying, I trust you more than instinct. Science will tell you it's oxytocin, that your gaze makes him feel love. But even science can't explain how it feels when he looks at you like that. like you're his entire reason for staying. He mirrors you too. Your pace, your energy, your joy, and your sadness. He doesn't just live beside you. He absorbs you. You come home frustrated. He flattens. Tail still, eyes lowered. Not because you scolded, but because your storm has entered his sky. You laugh, and suddenly he's lighter too. Ears up, hops sideways, like joy has finally returned. And when you cry, he doesn't leave, doesn't bark, doesn't fix. He simply stays, presses his body into yours, or nudges a toy to your lap. You forgot how to smile. Let me remind you. No command taught him this. No training manual prepared him. He just knew. Because that's what imprinting is. Not just following, not just copying, but feeling, as if your pain were his own. This bond? It's rare. It's wordless. And once it forms, it stays. Even in silence, even in absence, even in the smallest things, like where he chooses to sleep, what he stares at when you're not looking, or how he checks in, again and again, just to make sure you're still there. He follows you, not always closely, sometimes just enough to keep you in sight. A soft distance, like a shadow that doesn't want to intrude, only witness. You think he's checking in, but it's more than that. He's remembering, reassuring himself that the center of his world is still here. And when he looks back, over his shoulder, through the hallway, from across the room, it's not for approval. It's for connection. A silent question, asked without sound. Are we still okay? And when you nod, when your voice softens, when your hand grazes his head without a word, he exhales. Like he was holding something in. Some dogs bark when left alone. Others don't. They just wait. Still, patient, but never without feeling. He doesn't make a scene when you leave, but his body leans toward the door for a beat longer than necessary, as if hoping you'll turn back. One more time, just to say, I'll be back soon. He waits in your scent, on your pillow, by the door, near the shoes you forgot to put away. Not because he's confused, because he's loyal, because even absence doesn't break what he's built with you. And sometimes you'll find him staring when nothing's happening. Not outside, not at sounds, just at you. Long, quiet, unmoving. In the dog world, that kind of gaze isn't casual. It's vulnerable, risky, exposing. But with you, he doesn't flinch, because imprinting isn't just about closeness. It's about surrender. The kind that says, if you leave, I'll wait. If you fall, I'll stay. If you hurt, I'll carry it too. And if you're lucky enough, he'll place a paw gently on your knee. Just once, not asking, not begging, just anchoring. Like a soul reminding you that even in your loneliest moments, you're not alone. Because he's been watching, feeling, loving, in ways you never even noticed. Until now. You thought you were the caretaker, the one who fed, walked, and trained. You thought you were the one shaping him. But maybe he's been shaping you. With every glance he gives, he's reminding you to slow down, to soften, to see. When he mirrors your emotions, he's not just reacting, he's reflecting. You, your tension, your joy, your silence. Not many notice. Not many stop long enough to realize dogs don't just learn our routines, they absorb our essence. And if your dog has chosen you, really chosen, it means something. It means you became his center, his constant, his quiet place in a noisy world. Not everyone gets that. Not every dog offers it. Because imprinting is sacred. It can't be forced, only felt. And if he's done it with you, it's because you gave him more than food and toys. You gave him presence. You gave him memory. You gave him enough safety to become silent. to rest, to trust, to love, without needing proof. So maybe look again, at the way he pauses before he eats, at how he finds you in every room, at how he doesn't need to be touched, just near. He's not asking you to be perfect, only present. Some say dogs save us, not with sirens or grand gestures, but with presence, with soft paws on hospital sheets, with eyes that wait through the longest nights, because to him, you're already enough. If this reminded you of your dog, we'd be honored to hear your story. What did they do that you didn't understand at the time? What line stayed with you? No pressure. But if your heart has something to say, let it. He still does it. That small thing, the way he glances back when he thinks you're not watching, or how he sighs right before falling asleep at your feet. He still waits by the door, even if just for a second, even if you've only stepped out to get the mail. And maybe now you'll notice, not just what he does, but what it means, because love doesn't always bark. Sometimes it just stays, quietly, faithfully, even when you forget, even when you're tired, even when you don't realize what he's been giving all along. So next time he lays in your laundry, next time he stares too long, next time he checks in, pause. And remember, that isn't habit. That's a heartbeat choosing you. Still, if you've ever felt this kind of bond, we'd be honored to hear your story. What did your dog do that you only now understand? Drop A for the ones who loved us long before we knew how to love back.